have heard of catfishing in regards to the dating world. It's when people hide their identities through fake online profiles. Well, for one woman in Alaska, falling for a catfish became a deadly mistake. 22-year-old Denali Brehmer pleaded guilty to first-degree murder on Wednesday in the 2019 death of 19-year-old Cynthia Hoffman. The victim was found with a gunshot wound to the back of the head in a river roughly 30 miles from Anchorage. Prosecutors say that Brehmer, who was 18 at the time, met a man named Tyler online and eventually started a relationship with him. Tyler portrayed himself as a millionaire and convinced Brehmer that he'd share his fortune under one condition: she'd have to murder someone in Alaska. While Brehmer chose Hoffman as the victim and actually recruited several friends to help her commit the crime in exchange for a share of the alleged cash reward. The teens tricked Hoffman, whose family says that she has the intellectual capacity of a 12-year-old, into going on a hiking trip. They bound her feet, they bound her hands, they bound her mouth with duct tape before firing the fatal shot. Two of the other teens involved have pleaded not guilty to murder charges and await trial. As for Tyler, whose real name is Darin Schilmiller and who is not a millionaire, believe it or not, he's pleading not guilty to 5 murder charges. Terry, this is an awful case. Schilmiller, he was extradited to Alaska to face the charges. Could he also face charges in his home state of Indiana as well, though?
Yes, he could. This was over the internet, and he started the entire accomplice issue over the internet in 2 different states. He's in Indiana, his accomplice was in Alaska. Obviously, they all worked together to do this killing, and so he could be tried in Alaska. There's no death penalty there, and he could be convicted, he could be sentenced, but then they could bring him back to Indiana, and there is a death sentence in Indiana, and all they have to do is show he was over 18 at the time of the crime, which he was, and they have to show one aggravating factor, and one of those factors is that he hired someone else to commission this crime. So he actually offered these millions of dollars, so I think they could prove all of that. So we'll see what happens, but he's facing charges, or could face charges, in 2 different states.
And Brian, Brehmer's sentencing is August 22nd, the 3-day hearing. We're going to see if she gets anywhere from 30 to 99 years in jail. What should we expect from the hearing?
Well, Jesse, I'm thinking it's going to be a lot like the Nikki Suenso case, where she had recruited others to commit this crime, or at least her Canadian boyfriend. But this, I think, is going to be a lot worse. I don't see a lot of mitigating circumstances here, other than she probably has no criminal record and pled guilty. But other than that, killing someone who's a teenager, the person had the mental capacity, as her parents said, of a 12-year-old. Maybe that's why she was targeted. So the victim, the manner in which it was done, the fact that they were recruited, and it wasn't done for passion or love or this, but for money from someone else. 30 is the low end, 99 is the high end. I would not be surprised if she got something around the middle, 65 to 70 years. This is a heinous crime, and it could come up to being life in prison for her ultimately with all the time.
You might be right. Brian, Terry, thank you. Everyone out there, thanks for joining us here on Law&Crime Daily. We'll see you next time as we discuss justice in America.